There's a lot of things I learned from making that series with 40 episodes of Metronome Madness. Talk about it like y'all can't catch this. I'm gonna give you something you can catch though. I'm back, bro. Back to the tempo. I got a tempo inside me. I've been driving myself crazy lately, taking all these kind of roads again that I don't belong in. I've been on this old road like a whole lifetime, and now I'm back to this. Now I'm back and just doing things like I was when I was just a kid in high school and doing things, and I was driving cool. That's fine, but I had the beats playing, had the things taken. Lots of lines again in my mind, and then I'm just laying them down on the track, and now I'm back to this, and now I'm back it up and take your backpack up this big old cliff and just hike it, kid. I like it just a little bit more than singing. Wait, not today. I'm just I know how to work with words. I'm working, sir. I don't need a worm, I'm an early bird. I'm doing some things before the scenes happen, then I'm getting back to it. Now I'm rapping, wrapped up in a lot of things, and I'm backing it up again. We gotta get this idea outside the mind, and we gotta get back to something that we were behind where we are today, because I just say a lot of things like I would like to take my life back, and I like to act like I don't got the beat, but I got some things. I got some things like I'm in Jeeps and I'm climbing things like a mountain, please. I've been mountain things. I'm a mountain to a lot of things I never used to be. I'm just climbing, hiking, trying to find it. The heights just get so high that I get a little bit lightheaded, and I just get headed in a different kind of direction that I can't just, oh shoot. That's the whole thing with Metronome Madness. We closed the chapter and I got back to this. I liked it though because it was a place where I could go anywhere on the tempo without a tempo. Oh, it gave me a place to have a little bit of a slower kind of lifestyle. But you can have a slow lifestyle, fast lifestyle, any kind of life you want to style your life after. It just is you, bro. And this is the thing that I think, okay, stepping outside the rhymes, I think this is a really clear thing to make known. I rhymed again, by the way. I'm good with tempo. Metronome Madness is a thing I did, and it was entirely just off tempo, whatever it was, rhymes, randomness, wordplay. Ended it yesterday on episode 40. 40 years in the desert of doing things. I felt like I was deserted, at least from who I was when I was being me. And now it's like I'm back to this, right? This idea of just going back though. There's a backhoe if you can hear the beeping, bro. We don't need these things though. Getting back to nature. And naturally, I'm a person who sings. I'm a person who rhymes and raps all the time. And I'm a person who can rap in time. In high school, I would walk around and all of them would just drop and drown. And all their studies, and I would be studying the beats inside my head again and letting them just flow. So, I just want to make it known. I did a lot of episodes, 40 at least, and that's actually not only at least, but that's the number that was on that thing. 40 episodes of Metronome Madness. But I'm really good with tempo. And sometimes it's hard. You know, you're out here walking, you got nothing around you, but a lot of distractions at times. So it's kind of hard to keep on tempo. But I think it's a beautiful thing to do. Stay on tempo. But the thing is, I'm, unorthodox and untraditional, a little bit of a different kind of person than a lot of different kind of people. Wait, what? And so I like Metronome Madness. I like to do some things that sound a little bit crazy. I speak some words that people want to be saying are a little bit wrong, so that I can make my songs to give people a little bit of an open mind. But I find that sometimes, there's a cadence to life that we could try to step outside, and we don't like to be what we are not. And so I'm not gonna go slow and fast all the time and then come back to the balanced line. I'm gonna just stay on the tempo and let everybody else in this place that wants to come by know that I don't have to try all that hard, because it's a gift from God, the words I work with and how I don't have to stop. And I got just the tempo inside my head. I'm doing this thing till I am dead, and I have said I got a lifetime of song to write, but I don't usually write things. I want to make it a little bit silly, but then all of a sudden you're kind of blown away with the things I say because I'm on tempo today, and yesterday I thought that just the tick of the talk is back to this. I'm back and stop, and I don't stop. I just keep going with this. I'm going just a little bit slow, and then I'm back again. I'm back and forth. I'm back within. I'm back and sure. I'm me again. I'm me, and then I can see him when I look inside the mirror. Clearer is the vision that I get when I'm doing this and not doing that. You know, the thing that I'm not supposed to do. So, shoot. Yikes. I just want to make it clear. I've been going through a lot in the past couple of years. No kind of justification. This isn't me taking a little bit of a time out of my day and trying to say, hey, let me just right all my wrongs. Because I can't right my wrongs, and that's why I make these songs. Geared around the gospel of Jesus Christ, I do what we like in life. That's to have a good life. But the way that we have that is by serving the King. And so here's the thing. We'll call this... Yikes. TikTok time bomb. Because the things that I'm on are a different kind of explosion than you could be knowing. It hits you out of nowhere, bro, and then the winds blow again, and again. We get back to this, and all of a sudden I'm on the back of the tracks like I'm reciting a poem or two for you who knew that you could do some things like this. You might miss the opportunities you need if you see some things like the scenery from a different height than you can reach, and you drop back down to the ground again like the beach. I just want to make it clear. I just want to make it very clear. Can we just clear the water ahead? The water is dead. The water is wait. Living water again. I'm watering them like a little bit of a flower, a shower that I get. I just spit on tempo. So go, let go. But then you don't let go for too long. Get back on the rope. Grab that iron rod. You might have dropped a little bit off of this. You got it, just a little bit of a list. Enlist yourself in this. Been saying it before, and sure you've been kind of bored of the rhymes I spit when they're just a little bit off tempo. So I'll get a tempo going. I'll get slowing down again sometimes for you to say that, hey, I'm just me, not you, not the guy who tried to be the other guy in life, but I'm me, dude. So here's the thing. I want to make it very clear. My life has looked insane for the past couple of years. I founded In The Image Clothing Company. This is In The Image Clothing Company music. Yikes! A little bit eccentric at times. I get it. I'm gonna address it. I'm gonna make it known. I get it, bro. Sometimes I intentionally say some things to kind of make some people think. Is he crazy, or does he just think that he needs to seem that he's crazy for people to think that he's crazy, or what's happening here? What's really happening here is I have this lifelong company, in the Image Clothing Company, and what we do is allow the human body to work. We do it through clothing, okay, on one of our fours, but then there's poodles that we let stay natural, and we give information that applies to all dogs on letting dogs stay natural. We've got a podcast. As of today's date, we're on 177 episodes of In The Image Clothing Company podcast, where we have discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ. Just life, as it is, right? We're all human beings on the same earth with one God who designed us in his image. There's the first three words in our 5-word company name as a whole. In The Image Clothing Company. Today's date is the 18th of November, 2025. And this is In The Image Clothing Company music, one of our fourths, and this is our newest series. TikTok Time Bomb. And I came up with that name right as I said it earlier, but I love it because we went from Metronome Madness, at least you know from today's date back, it was the past few months I made those 40 episodes of Metronome Madness. And see, it works well with the phrasing, and that's great. Please, check it out if you'd like to. But I'm also really good at making tunes. On tune, on beat, and on the tempo when I need. But I like to live the life that I like to live, and so there's a time and a place for everything that we have a time and place for, right? There's times and places for things that are different than other times when they shouldn't be in that place. And so I've been put in my place a lot of times, and what I like to do is put myself where I need to be. And that's in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Okay, so we're founded upon gospel principles. All of a sudden I'm a preacher. I go from being this rapper, and you think, maybe I've got gold teeth and, chains on, and I'm out there just like screaming about some vulgarity. No, that's what I want to make clear. I've been through a lot that's gotten me to where I am today. And I'll go through more to get me to where I am tomorrow. And then so forth, and who cares? We're always only now. And this is the big thing, man. I used to make music, and I want to just make this clearly worded, because I've made some beautiful, amazing music lately. If I'm saying it, okay? It's my music. I decide if it's good. Artists decide if their own stuff is good. A lot of times people out there would think that an artist's stuff is amazing and the artist wouldn't even like it, right? Art is our own thing. And lately I have been making some amazing music, if I'm saying, but I have not been making music as well or in the same way at all in a lot of ways than I used to as a teenager. Freestyling rap all the time, writing rap songs and producing them to other people's beats, and so I couldn't really do anything with them because I didn't have the ownership of the beats. But I would. I'd write rap songs. I'd put them to lyrics, and I'd actually produce it myself. Where you line it all up, you record it, and do it all. Besides making the actual beat, I did everything else. And I've done a lot with this, a lot with music. I play guitar. We've got In the Image Clothing Company music here. Well, that's a lot of what happens is we show the sizing and setup of guitar to not alter the body. Okay, good nails on the hands and toes, fully supporting the fingertips and the toe tips. Cut relatively flat. We talk about these things in life, just allowing the body to work, right? Under In the Image Clothing Company's main side, but the radius in guitar and the size to just have the body working well. We make music here though. Okay, guitar, singing, rhythm, and poetry. That's what rap is, by the way. It's just an acronym. A lot of people don't know that. People love spoken word, but then they don't like rhythm and poetry. Wait. So, sometimes we have to understand what's really going on because it's the same thing. Okay. I mean, it depends on the individual doing it, but I don't do vulgar stuff. Okay. I mean, I'm a human being. I'm sinful as all get out. All right, so sometimes I got to get out and just step away from things, and so that there's a little bit of a better environment for people when I just get a little bit hot-headed, because I do at times, right? I understand. But we'll call this TikTok time bomb. We'll go as long as we go with this. I like series, and we've got a lot of series under In the Image Clothing Company where we do on multiple sides. There's series. Yeah, In the Image Clothing Company podcast doesn't really have series because it's just numbered episodes documented in order of, discussions on life, man. But we'll call this TikTok time bomb. And what I'll do is, let me make it clear on the very first one, on the launched episode, if you will, if we call them episodes. And yeah, sure, yeah, we do, we do episodes of things here. We do series often under In the Image Clothing Company. I'm gonna make it clear right now. This will be so much more structured and on beat than Metronome Madness was, okay? But it's not my goal to try to be entirely hitting every single count. I'm rapping again. I'm back to it, kids. Listen to this. I'm on my own kind of journeying through life like I'm trying to find the center of the earth. I'm sure that I got a center to my worth if I could just curve the ball that I throw at the wall. I'm not going to try to just keep it exactly on beat through TikTok time bomb, okay? But it'll just be a lot more structured. It'll be pretty well. And then it just who knows, right? I just want to make it clear, I am very good with tempo. I've had people talk to me about that in my life in the past, and I think it's a good discussion for this launch of this new series, because it's not like I took offense to it, but a lot of people didn't understand that I'm on tempo when I'm doing things that just are hitting random beats. It's like this, I'll clap on tempo, or I'll hit my hand like this, because then I'm more neutral. No joke, that's why I don't want to do it like this, because, In the Image Clothing Company, allowing the body to work, truly, this is much more neutral for my arm to track than doing this. Okay, internally rotating versus neutral. Okay, we really talk about the entire body. We allow the body to work. It's just a mechanical machine placed onto a rock in space in the Image Clothing Company's main side. Okay, clothing is the only thing placed on us physically. It's truly the only fix to human beings' physical problems, and we just discuss how to allow the body to work. Okay, nothing you could ever train. It's just what it is. It only has the functions it has. So I'll hit a tempo, and then with my percussion in my mouth, I'm not like hitting the beat like a lot of people would do, like, but what I do is I'm so on random beats at times, but I can really, really feel out the tempo. I feel music. I don't write things usually. I mean, occasionally, yeah. You know, and yeah, I mean, where I do. I definitely do write things at times. But it's so natural and easy for me to freestyle because I feel it. If I try to think about it intellectually, I kind of get in my own way, right? There's an episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast titled Our Own Worst Enemy. And really the whole thing is letting the Spirit of God lead in our lives. And that's when we kind of take ourselves out of things. And, you know, people could call it a flow state, you know, a very similar way of explaining, you know, not trying to force things. And so I am on tempo a lot of the time, at least. Sometimes I'm just not, right? Intentionally, and sometimes I just can't quite hit the tempo, right? But a lot of the time, I'm really actually hitting the tempo well, but I just hit the most random beats because that's how I think about it. I'm kind of like in between the lines with my rhymes, right? So I'll hit a tempo here, and I'll just do some percussive stuff, kind of like all over the beat, so you can see what I mean when I'm doing things that are on tempo, because this is what a lot of TikTok time bomb will be. Is it's not going to be sounding like your traditional, like I'm gonna do a lot of this. Listen. And no, it's not like exactly in time measured out like to the millisecond. But that's not the goal. That's not the focus. The focus is just to let loose with it while still being very structured for the sake of a TikTok time bomb, like a clock. We want this one to be a little bit more on tempo. So, just for a little bit of context, I'm really good with this. I'm good with words. I'm good with percussion. I mean, I don't actually play drums physically like with my hands, but I do a lot of stuff with my mouth. You know, beatboxing is what you could call it. We'll throw singing in where we do as well, and whatever it is. Maybe we've got, you know, Little Red the guitar. That's the guitar I have right now. I call him Little Red. He's a 3/4 size Johnson JG 610R with nylon strings, because I'm Evan Strong and I do crazy things with nylon strings. The way that I approach percussion and stuff like this, you know, I approach guitar playing the same way. And so that's what I mean. A lot of people a lot of the time think that I'm really off tempo because I treat things like solos. I mean, if you hear a drum solo and you don't really like have context of what song it's in, a lot of times it can just sound like they're playing randomness, but they're just hitting all those in between little beats, you know. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's different. We do stuff like this. Like I'm out here in St. George, Utah, right? We're based in Southern Utah, as in the Image Clothing Company. Shout out to Utah. We live up Utah, as in the Image Clothing Company. Okay, we do so much outside. Poodle parade events under In the Image Clothing Company poodles, right? Bring your purebred poodles of any size or mixed poodles of any size. We just do a lot of things in nature, a lot of things in places that wouldn't seem like maybe the most normal place to make music, right? Depending on who you are, depending on where you're coming from. And this is a lot of what we do as In the Image Clothing Company as well, is break norms, you know, where a lot of people think that they couldn't even make any music unless they were in a studio. It's like, no, you know, music is just what music is, and we can make some music, kids. And I'm gonna do it like this, you know. Where I do, it's off tempo, but let's switch it up a bit with this series for sure. That's what the titling is. That's what the phrasing's for. TikTok time bomb, and this is what I'm on. A little bit different journey with this. Okay. So thank you. I don't know, they'll vary in length, you know, maybe we'll kind of do whatever we do, and so that's what we'll do. Okay. But I love it. I said it somewhere in this, you know, as I was just kind of like flowing with stuff. I've got a lifetime of songs to write. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to actually write things down. But I just think about things in tempos. I feel things in tempos. I walk in tempo, like no joke, in a way that most people don't. I just rhymed through that, right? But Seriously, because allowing the body to work, my body's very, very, very centered. And I walk on tempo. And so even when I'm walking, I'm just feeling the tempo. And, you know, I don't know. I want to make it clear, like, there's some people out there that are just so naturally musical. And I'm one of those people. Okay, just for context of where this is coming from, why Metronome Madness was what it was, why we have 1/4 of In the Image Clothing Company that just adds the word music on the end of it, right? In the Image Clothing Company music. Well, we do a lot with music. And there's just so much that I do with it, right? I approach it in all sorts of different kind of ways, and so it's going to be really cool to show a lot of different sides. Because the beautiful thing with Metronome Madness really is if you don't have the ability to feel out tempo, a lot of people just aren't very rhythmic, okay? And that's fine. You can still make a lot of music in the ways that you do. I mean, music and art in itself is just, you could use the word subjective, right? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You can make something and somebody can think it's so beautiful, and like I said, even you maybe didn't even think it was. And so a lot of the norms that we need to break, you know, social norms and status quos and things that don't let people be who they are inside. And we try to hide instead of being who we are because we don't think that other people will like. Right? Us, for who we are. That's a lot of what we do under In the Image Clothing Company. That's a lot of what the poodles are for, and why we do so much in nature is to get people back to their authentic self and get people really rooted and grounded. Okay? Grounded. Like the rocks, right? Like the earth. Ground. Getting into nature really does that for people. Dogs themselves really do that for people. And music as well, you know, it's something that it brings people together. Those three things, man, and that's the thing, right? The goal is natural under all four sides of In the Image Clothing Company. What we'll do with the poodles, right? We specialize in purebred standard poodles, but yeah, what we do with our dogs, man, a lot of it's to really get people grounded and you know, authentic. And then through the music that we do as well, just showing, you know, we don't have to try to rehearse something. Try to play it perfect or sing it perfect or get it on key properly or in time properly to have music that lasts or that matters. Because who's it lasting for, and who does it matter to, you know, and what's the reason you're doing it? Yeah, what's the reason we're doing it? Just anything we do in life, you know. This is a lot of what we do under In the Image Clothing Company, is just really uncover the truth, right? There's only truth in life, regardless of any belief you could try to come up with. The only way you can believe something is something or isn't something is because that thing was there already. And that thing is the truth, right? And God in the beginning was always there. Then everything else came after. So there's only truth. Another name for God is the truth, right? The truth, the way, and the life, Jesus Christ. We're designed in the image of Jesus Christ. In the Image Clothing Company. There's four sides to us. There's a lot to us. There's a lot that we do. So just stick around. Stick around for the poodles. I'm looking down at these dog prints in the mud. There's red dirt down here in St. George, Utah. Stick around for some music. Stick around for the products when we have them, right? Human being clothing and dog products, right? Staying centered, fitting correct, allowing the body to work, doing the same thing for dogs, letting dogs stay natural. We're based here in Utah, Southern Utah, man. It's the place to be. And I say that for a lot of reasons, and there's a lot of context as to why, even up until today's date, you know, but then as time goes forth, you'll be able to see what we're able to do because of Utah as being one of the big reasons. Living up Utah, that comes through a lot of ways, you know, church history, truly, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the environment out here, being able to have events, because we'll have all the events that we do. Poodle Parade events are just one of them, and yeah. You know, just come hang out, man, if you want to. You know, physically involve yourself. An episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. But also, I just mean, we always will, always have, and always do so much through the gift of video. I call it the gift of video because It allows us to experience so much that we would never otherwise be able to experience. And so just the gift of documentation, the gift of video, we date mark things, and we're just, a record-keeping people as disciples of Jesus Christ. That's a lot of what we do here, okay? So here we go. Fireworks to the sky. Here's the launch of TikTok Time Bomb. Even that in itself, the alliterations. TikTok Time Bomb. We'll get into it, bro, and it'll be really fun because, why not? We'll just do series where we do, and I'm in this for life. Evan Strong as the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. Man, there's no parameters around this of what it needs to or doesn't need to be and how it needs to look, besides always keeping just our core values, and that's stamped in our name, in the image. Being sinful, imperfect people, we're designed in the image of God. And so whether you want to believe that there's a God out there or not, where'd you come from? Believe it or not, don't. You don't need to believe in God. Those are 2 episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, because regardless of if you believe anything or not, there's still truth. Regardless of if you want to believe that there could be some higher power out there or not, God's still there. You don't have to believe in anything, but we can uncover the truth and we can get down to what life really is. So welcome to TikTok Time Bomb. Today's the 18th of November, 2025. My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. The team will build, the poodles will come, our building will be built down here in southern Utah. Things will look different as time progresses. They wouldn't have to necessarily, but just saying that to explain that there's even more to come. And, shoot. Don't believe me, but stick around to find out. If you'd like to, right? And that's what I say all the time too. Really, don't believe me. Hey, check this out. Well, I'm, here. Look at oh my goodness. What is going on here? There could be a sleeping bear. Don't poke the bear. And don't be scared of me when I seem intimidating a lot of the time, especially through music, There's a lot that comes out through the music that I make that sounds like pretty darn harsh. And it's just music, bro. And also I'm just one person out here just doing what I'm doing, and I'm just bringing the people along with me on this that want to. So it's up to you, If you got a problem with us, stick around. That's what I say. Deeper context brings deeper understandings. A lot of times we just don't know how to even fully comprehend what's going on at times in life, because how could we? We're just human beings. So thank you.